What's up everybody, welcome back. Thank you so much for taking the time to hang out. In this video, we're talking about the brand new Freevision Vilta SE and 5 reasons why I like it and a little bit more. Let's go. So I had the opportunity to get my hands on the Freevision Vilta SE during CES 2019 in Las Vegas, and currently this gimbal sits at $99 US. It has a payload capacity of 255 grams, which is awesome. This will fit your iPhone XS Max, this will fit your Galaxy Notes, this will fit pretty much most phones in the market right now, and you could potentially use a case. Freevision Vilta SE gives you the capability of switching from landscape to portrait, though not on the fly. You actually have to move the phone a little bit, which is not too crazy, not too bad. Just slide the phone a little bit further out. It just simply rotates to the side, which makes it a lot easier when you're trying to get that shot on the fly. This is very useful for creators on portrait-centric social media platforms. And the Freevision Vilta SE has a really useful locking mechanism. This means that you can pretty much lock the joints, so it's not dancing around if you put it in your carry-on or backpack. Now, before we get into the 5 reasons why I like the Freevision Vilta SE, we want to make sure it does that one thing properly, which is stabilizing. So you know me, we put it to the test using iPhone XS Max and Google Pixel 3a on both the native camera app and the FV Share app. Now, we also threw in a couple clips of the DJI Osmo Mobile 2, that way we have a control clip and see how the Freevision Vilta SE stacks against one of the top gimbals in the industry. Now initially this test was started at Big Bear, but the conditions were so windy that it was making the camera shake. If you're planning on taking your Freevision Vilta SE on an environment that might include a lot of wind or a lot of impact, my footage was actually a little bit shaky, and this was happening a little bit both on iPhone and Android. I honestly think the Freevision does a fantastic job doing its main capability, which is stabilizing your shot. The one thing that I do recommend is to enabling anti-shake in the app, which adds an additional layer of image stabilization to your footage. That way, if you do have any missteps or any impacts, the phone also is trying to help stabilize that. Now keep in mind, this is going to add a little bit of cropping to your footage, so you want to make sure you shoot in 4K at the very least. That way you can edit down and have a higher ceiling. But I want to know what you think regarding stabilization. Do you prefer the image stabilization on the Freevision Vilta SE or the DJI Osmo Mobile? Is the price difference between them incentive enough to switch over to Freevision? Let me know in the comments. I want to know from you, but in my opinion, I think both of them do a really good job, and for the price, the Freevision Vilta SE is looking very attractive. Now let's get down to reason number 1. The Freevision Vilta SE has a whopping 17 hours of battery life. This is actually 2 extra hours when we compare it to the DJI Osmo Mobile 2, which is one of the top leading gimbals in the industry, and the Freevision Vilta SE pushes even further, which is amazing. This is great news for those looking to create time lapses, motion time lapses, or just simply film for really long periods of times. Now keep in mind that the gimbal will last that long, but at times phones won't. So make sure you arm yourself with a battery backup, but overall 17 hours, if you have multiple devices and you're switching back and forth, you could shoot an entire day with just a single charge on your Freevision Vilta SE. Reason number 2, pretty much every gimbal in the industry will give you the option to create time lapses and motion time lapses, which on the SE gives you the option to select up to 10 different points of rotation, your intervals, and duration. But what the Vilta SE does that not a lot of gimbals can do is to create what we call motion lapse, which is similar to motion time lapse. You can select your different points of rotation, but it can actually do it on video mode. And going even further, you can even manually draw a path in between your point A to point B. So if you necessarily don't want to go on a straight line from point A to point B and you want it to do an arch, you can actually create this motion just by simply drawing on the screen. And this is very useful when you're filming solo, when you don't have anybody to pan and you want to use a front-facing camera to lower your quality and do object tracking, which, by the way, the Freevision Vilta SE can also perform. But you can pretty much program your shot to pan automatically and just act the part and walk in front of your camera, and it will follow that path, which is really useful once again when you're filming solo. You have nobody, there is not a soul around, and you still want to create that really cool panning shot, that reveal shot, and you want to be part of it. This is very, very useful. So I'm a fan of not only motion time lapse, but also motion lapse. Now the Freevision Vilta SE can also perform Dutch rolls or inception rolls, but all you really have to do is enable that on the camera settings. You can actually impact the roll of your gimbal just by simply moving your joystick. This is incredibly useful for B-roll, for really good dramatic shots where the whole camera spins, really good for music videos, or that cinematic approach. If we were to put in a little bit of epic music, you can get some really cool shots, even if it's a dock in Big Bear or just anything in general. It's really cool. Reason number 3, the Freevision Vilta SE includes a very handy, very useful focus and zoom wheel. It's on the left side of the gimbal, and this by default will impact the zoom. So you can actually make quick adjustments on the fly to your zoom, but when you enable manual mode, you can actually not only impact the zoom, but also the shutter speed, exposure compensation, ISO, and focus. This is fantastic because if you're trying to create that really nice panning shot, that really nice reveal shot, you can create some really nice cinematic clips with ease without having to tap or interact on the screen. Now to go even further, this is very useful for vertigo shots, but for some reason when I'm zooming in or zooming out, you know, that really cool push-pull effect, it might be a little clicky. So the Freevision Vilta SE app has an actual vertigo mode that allows you to select your starting point and end point. And depending on the type of vertigo shot that I'm doing, I actually like to start all zoomed in. So that's going to be your first point. Then on your second point, you can select your zoom out, right? So you can have the widest. You can also start wide on your initial point and then zoom in on your endpoint. All you have to do is move backwards to create that really awesome, crispy, B-roll friendly Vertigo shot. Reason number 4, the Freevision Vilta SE has native camera support. Yes! Now, if you're not new to the channel, you know that I love to film with the native camera app because it's fast, it's accessible. All I have to do is swipe to the left on my lock screen and I just go straight to the camera app. I'm already defaulted to 4K 60 and I capture the shot on the fly. It's exhilarating. I love the fact that I can capture anything as it's happening, and sometimes you don't really plan to capture things as they're happening. I really like the fact that the Freevision Vilta SE can connect directly to your device. All you really have to do is go to the Bluetooth settings and connect your Freevision Vilta SE. This worked for me both on iOS and Android, but it doesn't stop in the native camera app. I was also able to use this on Instagram, Facebook, and Snapchat. Just make sure you have your gimbal connected via the settings app, via the Bluetooth settings app. And this is great because if you're creating content on the fly on social media platforms, you can enjoy awesome stabilization, prop your phone in portrait, and you'll be able to get those really cool boomerangs, those awesome stories with very good stabilization, and it just adds to the professionalism. Just very convenient. I love that feature. Now, reason number 5 is the fact that the FV Share app gives you the options to save your footage directly to your SD card inside your phone. Now, this is a fantastic feature for brand new users or people who might have a phone with 64 gigabytes or less of internal storage. Maybe you bought your phone and you didn't realize that you might be getting a gimbal down the road and you're still using a previous device. There's nothing wrong with it, but now you discovered this brand new passion point and you're starting to film and you're filling up your memory real fast. So instead of having to upgrade your device, you can just simply get an SD card if your phone supports it, and the FV Share app saves that footage directly to your SD card, which is also incredible for editing workflows. If you're importing footage to your computer, iPad, mobile device, tablet, you name it, having an SD card is going to be very, very useful. You can move it around, move the footage much faster. It's very, very efficient. Now, this is also very cool because for the longest time, the software for most gimbals has always not been full-fledged on Android. Typically, you're missing slow motion mode or different frame rates and capabilities, and it's really nice to see that from the beginning, the FV Share app for Freevision gimbals has always been feature-rich on Android. If you're an Android user, this is by far, in my opinion, the best Android app for gimbals. This is the best parity between iOS and Android in a gimbal app that I've encountered. This gimbal has the capability of shooting in 4K, 1080-60. It even had some experimental frame rates and resolutions, but it's really cool to see how Freevision from the beginning has capitalized on the potential of Android devices by including the save to SD capability, the experimental frame rates, but reeling it all back, the stabilization is fantastic. If you're just trying to capture footage with minimal shake, minimal impact, it's gonna get the job done. Plus, I think the stabilization is great. The software is fantastic on both Android and iOS. I gotta say, this is definitely looking really good. Really interesting competition out there. But I wanna hear from you. Let me know in the comments section down below if you have any questions or suggestions. Drop them down there so we can continue to create relevant content for you. Also, let me know what you think. What's your favorite feature of the Vilta SE? Once again, thank you so much for sharing your time with me. I'll catch you on the next one.